Today, Dave Foster from the Fontaine family, the real estate leader, and today I'm outside the Norway Savings Bank Arena in Auburn, Maine. I'm going to be talking to Marc Gosselin, who's the Executive Director of Community Partnerships and Sports Tourism. Marc's recently come up here and taken that position on, and we're going to go find out exactly what that position means and what it's going to mean to the community here in the Auburn-Lewiston area. So why don't you come on in and check it out. So everybody, here we are. I'm talking to Marc Gosselin, and we're outside one of the rinks up in the pavilion here. And so Marc, I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. First of all, you're a Lewiston native, is that correct?
That is true.
And you moved away and did all sorts of different things, and then came back here recently.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Before I left, I was actually the general manager here at Norway Savings Bank Arena. Prior to working for the Maine Red Claws as their vice president of corporate partnerships. Knew Dennis Dote, who was the assistant city manager at the time. We got connected, asked if I'd want to work for the city of Auburn and work with this place, and worked for it for 2 years. And the sports world is a small world, and I have some people and some connections out other places. And the Columbus Blue Jackets were looking for a corporate partnership individual. Ended up getting to know them. We had a conversation. Ended up working for the NHL for a couple of years, and then just some family. I have mature parents like we all do when we get into our older ages. And my mom had Alzheimer's, and my dad was also going through some health stuff, and so Jess, my girlfriend, and I decided to make the decision to come back and take care of family. And I made a phone call to assistant managers, Phil Kroll. They talked about a whole redesign of our recreation department for the city of Auburn, and part of my role is not just looking after the arena, but is looking after our whole entire recreation department, the Ingersoll Turf facility, and how we're going to use sports tourism to grow in the community. So it was a great opportunity, kind of like, unfortunate circumstance with my mom, and that sort of thing, but, it kind of worked out,
That's great. That's how things work out.
For sure. I'm happy to be back.
So I know that there's been some challenges, kind of came right back with you with the COVID thing. I know you didn't bring it here, but
I did it, I promise.
But what did that, how is that affecting the arena and the goods, the bads?
I think the bad, when it happened in March, it was bad timing in March because we were getting into our event season. The event season is big for us from the standpoint we're starting to use this facility more for events. And we had the largest RV show in the state that got canceled. We were going to host the largest golf show in the state, got canceled. All planning, just to let people know, we're planning to put them again in March. RV shows coming back, golf shows coming back. But we were in that process. Those got canceled, and so we ended up shutting the building down from March to June. Luckily, our emergency management team, myself and a bunch of people, we were proactive enough to start thinking back in April about what this was going to look like in June, July, August, September, which allowed us to plan appropriately. So when we got the ability from the state with the restrictions and them kind of lessening the restrictions, we were able to open the doors.
Nice. And
we had a plan in place, and we've been running both rinks since June.
Nice.
And usually that rink side, rink one, right now we're overlooking rink two.
Yeah.
Rink one's usually not into August, so we put that in about a month and a half earlier. And our June numbers were up compared to last June because so bad. I mean, we had to, just like every other community business, we face the challenges. You're a realtor, I'm sure. COVID's affected realty in different ways, and our restaurants and our community members. And I think what we're trying to do in recreation, we understand kids, families. It's been tough since March. Yeah. So if we can do our part as it relates to just opening the building, giving some recreation, whether it's through us, our summer camp, our senior center, and that sort of thing, that's what we want to do.
That's great.
We're going to do it safely as well.
Yeah, and I know that getting the word out about what the arena does and all that. Now, personally, I've been here about 4 years, and I had never stepped foot in here.
Shame on
you. I know, but I worked the polls like I always do. I do some poll working when there's an election, and we had the polls here, and so I got a chance to actually be here for 8 hours, and I saw group after group coming in and using the ice all day long. And one thing, it was very entertaining when it got quiet around here. But it was really cool to see this place. And I talked to so many people that came through who had never been here and probably never would have stepped foot in here. So, bad COVID, but it changed things for the better for you in in that respect.
Isn't that what's nice about having a facility like this? Is
Yeah.
you have to like start thinking outside the box. I mean, yeah, our core product's hockey, right? And that's what we do. I mean, it's 12 months,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, when we're in a pandemic situation like this, you know, everyone's challenged with space and how do we do things right and how do we socially distance. And when Sue Clements-Delaire from the city of Auburn, you know, one of my colleagues was just like, hey, could we do voting up there? I mean, we're like, the answer wasn't no. It was more of just like, well, how?
How?
You know, how do you want to do? How does it normally get done? And are there certain restrictions? Because I learned a lot about polling by running the event. But it was great to see people walk out of the building and say, wow, you get a great facility here.
Right.
Never been here before. Beautiful. We're glad we have
And
you
that's
in the
awesome.
community.
Yeah, and you know, I've done work the polls for over 10 years now, so I've seen a lot of that, and it went really well here. You know, and you were right there. I didn't know you at the time, but you were right there watching people come in and making sure everything was going well. And great job. You know, really
Honestly,
good
there
job.
was a lot of people outside of me just being there. I mean,
No,
what
I
a
know.
lot of people don't realize, we were cleaning every 30 minutes. You know, we were cleaning touch
great.
points. We were, you know, making sure we were monitoring the weather. Unfortunately, we got some severe weather that day.
Yeah.
You know, so we had to bring people inside
Yeah.
that were, you know, outside. You know, and hopefully, you know, as we grow into events and as we do different things in our community, you know, hopefully this place gets used for other things like that, which is why, you know, it's nice that we have it.
Yeah, well, that experience
you know,
probably helped
hope so.
everybody to understand how you can do things. So, as far as like your career goes and things like that, I always like to ask people, like, you know, you've met probably some people that, you know, famous people or whatever.
Yeah.
Who is it that you've met that like really stands out,
Oh God.
and why?
Jack Nicklaus.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you meet him? Play golf with him?
Yeah, no, I got to meet him in Columbus because
Wow.
that's his hometown.
Okay, yeah.
And he hosts the memorial there.
Yeah.
He also comes to the Blue Jackets every
Oh,
once
that's
in
great.
a while. So I got to meet him and meet his wife, and everything that you see on TV about Jack and his wife is 100%
Yeah,
authentic.
yeah. Just
They're
a nice guy.
genuine great people.
Yeah.
Really interesting guy to talk to. I know you were probably thinking I was going to say someone in hockey.
No, actually, you know, you never know with these
You know,
things. You know,
but I mean, you know, in hockey, I got to meet Wayne Gretzky too.
Did you really? Wow.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny. Some people ask me, what's my favorite person to have on my cell phone?
Yeah.
Is it's so weird, but it's the guy who carries around the Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Yeah, Mr.
Really?
Pritchard.
Yeah,
And I got to meet him. We got to have some conversations,
No,
and him and I still talk. And actually, him and I we talk about plans about what we could do here.
Yeah.
I would love to bring a traveling Hall of Fame here from
that's a
hockey.
great
He's
idea.
my contact for that. So we're in continuing. We were actually in conversation about it pre-March, pre-COVID. So that's actually.
Well, hopefully
kind of,
you will be.
Yeah, who knows? But
Yeah.
but it's nice to have the keeper of the Stanley Cup.
I know, and that thing's been around from the history I've read it.
Hey,
you
can
know.
I have this? You know, I don't know if you'd ever bring it here, but you know, it's just.
Of course.
I got to tell you, life experiences when you get to do that type of stuff. Well, so I got to meet some great people and got to learn a lot about the industry, and I feel for them right now. I mean, professional sports.
Yeah,
I don't care what professional sports you're in.
Yeah.
Football, NFL,
One sneeze
whatever.
could shut it down, right?
I mean, it's crazy. They are. They're going through some challenges right now. I'm just happy to watch live sports on TV, and it's great to see CBJ playing. Right now, watching hockey in August, which is not.
And all the cardboard people.
And all the
behind us,
cardboard
hopefully.
people. I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy world we're living
Yeah.
in, especially in sports and recreation.
So, just a final question. So, I always ask this for anybody in any profession. My son-in-law is a structural engineer, and he told a story about sticking his head up through the floor and having the most poisonous snake in North Carolina staring him in the face. But what is the weirdest or craziest thing that's ever happened to you in your career?
Oh God, weirdest, craziest thing. I would probably say working for the Lewiston Maniacs when the Lewiston Maniacs were here in town.
Yeah.
We were always trying to come up with crazy ideas to entertain fans and and work with our corporate partners. We had a great we had a great relationship with Lee Onomah, with the Maniacs, and we did a truck pull, and we forgot the rope before we went out onto the ice, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We got these heavy duty, tow ropes." So one of my colleagues and I were just like, "Well, we should put someone in the truck just in case things go wrong, so they can press the brakes." So we were doing. So each team had 4 individuals had to pull the truck.
Okay.
And
whoever pulls it across.
Whoever pulls it across the blue. We started on the goal line. We thought it was going to go to the blue line, and it would take plenty of time. these ropes were so heavy duty that they were just pulling these things like there was no weight to them. So we like adjusted on the fly. Said, hey, look, first one to the far blue line wins.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking to myself, please, no one fall.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Thank God, thank God we put someone in the truck, because one of the most largest men who was pulling one of these things fell on the ice, and the truck was coming towards him, and they had this thing, and the guy in the cab, I saw his eyes get so big, and he's trying to pump on the brakes, but it's anti-lock brakes on ice, so the truck was shaking. It literally stopped that far.
Wow.
And
you couldn't grab the guy and pull him, huh?
And so I kind of spun. I was on the microphone. I was kind of spun. I'm like, hey, can someone check on my insurance guy?
Yeah.
Can we have the EMS go up to him?
Make a joke out of it. That's
but
great.
In sports, you see all these crazy things that happen with all these entertainment type stuff.
I'll bet you do. Yeah.
But
well, that's pretty funny actually. I can imagine being here to see that. But so Mark, thank you so much for joining me for a few minutes today, and welcome back to the city. And there's a lot going on in Auburn Lewiston. We listened to our planner yesterday talk about all of the growth that's going on around the river, and just having you be a part of it is awesome. So I appreciate it.
I wish everyone the best. I mean, right now, I hope I hope everyone is using everyone for resources.
Change can be good.
And that's what we're hoping. And we really hope that if anyone's having trouble out there with COVID and stuff like that, whether they live in if you live in Lewiston, go see the people in Lewiston. If you live in Auburn, come see us. Come see the cities. Go to City Hall. I think the only way we're going to get past this whole situation that we're living in is, I don't like talking about the new normal, because I don't think it's the new normal. I think what we're trying to do is we're living as we're living right now, and we're going to get by because we're a community.
We got to do it together.
And we do it together as a community.
You're trying to,
and I think
awesome.
so. That's what I hope everyone realizes, that we're all in this together, and I wish everyone the best of luck out there as we go through this.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and thanks again, Mark. I'd shake his hand, but we don't do that. So
we're 6 feet.
Have a great day, everybody.
See you later.